Greetings, Fiend and Fiendettes. It's been a while, but I'm back for another installment of Uberdemon's Movie Morgue. I'm going to jump into a quick game segment here and talk about this Mortal Kombat 9. This is probably the most violent Mortal Kombat to date, with the X-ray moves, multiple fatalities for characters, and I really enjoy this game. Once you get through story mode, it's a good story mode, and it takes some time to get through. But and there's ladder matches. There's the challenge tower. It does feel a bit repetitive for a while, but that's how fighting games are. And I'll pop this in from time to time and enjoy playing it. The new X-ray moves are really cool. People are complaining because there's only one per fighter, and they got tired of them after a while. I still think they're pretty cool, and I enjoy watching them repeated times. Uh, for the different fighters, I think it's really a neat mechanic that they added. I'm very glad that this has gone from the 3D fighting style back to 2D. And it's still 3D graphics, but you don't have to worry about pivoting around your enemy, and it's more streamlined fighting that way, in my opinion. So I'm glad they've taken it back to the old school format of fighting. Um, Bloody fun. If you're a gore fan, you're definitely going to enjoy this game. So I say pick it up. And I'm going to talk about horror, or actually, I'm going to talk about music real quick. Last Saturday, I saw Calabrese at ES Jungle in Broad Ripple in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm wearing the shirt that I got, the Saturday Night of the Living Dead shirt. I'm enjoying that very much. I had their second CD, and I didn't have their other two CDs, but I listened to their music still. And I knew a bunch of the songs off their other CDs through their webisodes and whatnot. So I bought the first and third CDs, so I'm going to talk about those here. This is their first CD, 13 Halloweens, and it's a great CD. It's this is their first CD. They made their mark. It's got great songs on it, like wow, I messed that one up. Zombie Eye, Every Day's a Funeral, Blood in My Eyes. There's like Calabrese, they're one of the few bands that I can actually put an album in and just let it play and enjoy each and every one of the songs on the album. And like I said, I had their second album, The Traveling Vampire Show. I was able to find a copy of this, and I'm glad I bought it because it's a great CD, and I'll pop it in quite frequently. It's even more great songs on this album: Death Eternal, Voices of the Dead, Vampires Don't Exist, Inside This Coffin, Night in the Lonesome October, Come Alive, Children of the Night, Saturday Night of the Living Dead, House of Mysterious Secrets. This is a very awesome album. If you don't have this one yet, definitely pick this up. Or if you're wanting to, be introduced to Calabrese, I recommend this album first because it's got a lot of really great songs on it. And again, all their songs are great. I love all three of their CDs. And this is their latest effort, Calabrese 3, They Call Us Death. And even more great songs on this one: Deep in the Red, Black Anathema, Near Twilight, Blood of the Wolf, Some of the Beyond, Violent Hellfire. A lot of great songs on this album. And it's no secret that their influences are the Misfits, Danzig, Typo Negative, Rob Zombie, all favorite bands of mine, and and I think they're great bands and great influences to have. And I think those influences definitely show up in their music, especially the third album overall, with influences from Misfits, Earth AD, and definitely some more of the Danzig and Samhain, Sam Hain stuff. Especially the fact that they titled it Calabrese 3, kind of like Danzig 3 or Sam Hain 3. So I thought that was great that they brought back that tradition of giving an album a sequel of sorts. So if you haven't heard of Calabrese yet, then check them out. If you're a horror punk fan or a horror rock fan, you will definitely enjoy them. I'm gonna guarantee that you're probably going to like them, especially if you also like Misfits and Danzig and stuff like that. They're totally awesome. they have a very big presence online. In fact, I follow them on Twitter and Facebook, and they're very personable. And it was great at the show. It's probably the most punk show I've ever been to. It was in the basement of a church in Broad Ripple, and I mean the crowd was great. There are other great opening bands. Black Cat Rebellion opened up along with the Grave Robbers and Harley Poe. Great local horror bands, and Calabrese, when they showed up for before their set, they were walking around the audience, and I mean it was a small crowd because it's a tiny church basement, but I mean that basement was rocking. So that's it for my music segment, focusing on Calabrese for this edition of the Movie Morgue. Now I'm going to move on to a quick segment on horror in high def, and this is not technically a horror film, but I wanted to mention it. It's Tron Legacy. I vaguely remember watching Tron quite often when I was younger, back in the 80s. But this is definitely a great sequel to the first one, in my opinion. I mean, I agree with some people. Some people say it has pacing problems. It kind of does. It does drag in a couple spots, but the action in it is pretty awesome. It's got a good story. And if you're in the technology field, as I am in my normal life, it's definitely a film worth watching. And I love how they focus on open source software and making fun of big software and computer software companies like Microsoft and Apple. And my last movie, Morgue, I mentioned the Scream trilogy. And I mentioned that I bought the 3 DVD box set, and then found out that no less than a week later they're going to be releasing them on Blu-ray. And I said I may or may not double dip. Well, I did, at least on the first two. I almost did on the third one too. I'm going to find the first 2 Screams at Costco for $8 each. These same Blu-rays were actually on sale last weekend at Best Buy. I don't know if they're still on sale there or not. By the time you see this, but they had part 3 on sale for the same price, and I think they had the other parts 1 and 2 as well. But for $8, sure, I'll double dip for the picture and sound upgrade especially. Again, speaking of horror upgrades, I finally got the first Ghostbusters on Blu-ray. This is the first time I myself personally have owned a copy of this movie. And it's surprising because I love this movie, and I like the second one a lot too, because I remember when it was released, the second movie was released, and there's a big promotion with it, and there's a lot of cool stuff that they did with it. But this is the seminal cut. But this is the first Ghostbusters film, and it's stunning on Blu-ray. The picture looks great, definitely a worthy upgrade for the picture and sound, and I forgot how awesome this movie was because it had been a while since I'd seen it, and it's no wonder why people dress up as Ghostbusters at various conventions like Horror Hound and stuff like that and walk around with their proton packs, because it's an awesome movie. And another high def upgrade, Aliens. Recently, all 4 Alien films were released in Blu-ray format. And I'm probably going to get the other ones at some point, but I wanted to get this one on Blu-ray because this is the biggest, in my opinion, this is the biggest Alien film in the series, combining elements of science fiction, horror, and war films. It's got Space Marines, it's got a giant alien, it's got other warrior aliens, it's got Sigourney Weaver and the Power Loader. This is my favorite Alien movie in the series, and this is definitely a great upgrade. I never owned it on DVD. Again, this is the first time for me personally, owning a copy that I purchased. I had a copy of it on VHS way back when, and I still might have a copy of it on VHS actually. But I mean, it was someone gave it to me. I didn't actually purchase it. So this is my first time actually purchasing it. And again, I'm glad. It's another awesome movie. It's, again, no surprise why people still love these movies and why, it's worth the high-def upgrade. So now I'm going to get into the main segment of this movie Morgue, and it's actually kind of a two-part segment, and it's going to be DVD format, as most of my main segments are, because Blu-ray is still relatively new and they're still re-releasing things. Hopefully, I should get some more Blu-rays here soon, and I'll do another movie Morgue whenever I have time. But the kind of topic this week for the DVD format section is unconventional killers, and more specifically, full moon pictures. But first, before I get into that, I'm going to talk about some recent acquisitions on DVD. Big Lots, again, great place to get cheap horror films. They had Amusement for $3. I've never seen it, but it looked like it might be interesting, and for $3, I figured it'd be a decent gamble. Same with Skinwalkers, some kind of looks like a biker werewolf film. I've never seen it, and it was $3 at Big Lots. I figured it'd be a worthy gamble. And another recent acquisition, I don't remember if I've talked about this one or not. I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure I haven't. But it's a 4-pack of The Funhouse, Phantasm 2, The Serpent and the Rainbow, and which that's just a really weird name for a movie. Again, that's my first time owning a copy of that, and Serpent of the Rainbow, and The Funhouse on DVD. I already have, as you know, a copy of Phantasm 2, but that's definitely a worthy duplicate that I don't mind having a duplicate of. The Funhouse is, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but Serpent of the Rainbow is a great movie about real-life zombies in Haiti with Bill Pullman, so that's a good movie. The Funhouse is where I'm actually going to be getting the whole unconventional killer kind of a movie, because I'm not going to ruin, who the killer is for those of you that haven't seen it, but let's just say it's definitely not what you would typically think of as your typical slasher killer, and a very cool movie. Toby Hooper that directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre directed it, and it's a great little slasher flick that I feel is highly underrated. And now I'm going to talk about a stint of horror films, slasher films that are based off of various professions. One is The Dentist, which I do not have, but I definitely know of it. This is one that I grew up with in the 90s, Dr. Giggles, which had a limited run in Dark Horse Comics, and when the movie came out, they released a 2-issue miniseries, which I have the second in the series of the comic books, and I have a old Dark Horse Presents that has kind of Dr. Giggles' backstory a little bit, which they don't have in the movie. I thought this was a great movie. It's got Larry Drake in it, which those who don't know, Larry Drake is somewhat of a character actor, and he was in a lot of episodes of Tales from the Crypt, and he really adds a creep factor to anything that he does. Oh, he was also Durant in Darkman.